So yeah, I don't draw very well, and I'm always telling people I know that do draw well that they should do a YouTube channel with storytime animation style. Specifically, top of my head, I'm thinking about Gord here. Anyways, so yeah, I don't draw well, but I don't know, it's kind of funny, I guess. So this was me. I was coming from work or something on the subway, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I noticed this guy, and he was clearly stressed. Like, he was kind of well dressed, obviously not very rich, but he was like just really uncomfortable. And I noticed people sort of sitting away from him, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a nice guy and sit next to him, not gonna judge him. So I was sitting there, and I noticed his pants were kind of off, and he was really trying to fix a belt he had. And he had like a lot of cologne on, like he smelled like he was going on a date or something, and he had a shirt with like a tie, I think. I think he had a coat on too, but like it was like winter. And he also did have a hat, which I didn't draw here. I forgot it's important. So just imagine with a knit cap. So he was trying to do something with a belt. And I just said to him, are you trying to fix that belt? And he's like, yeah, I'm in a hurry. I got to fix this belt. And I was like, no problem, being all super non-judgmental and nice, because he was a little sketchy looking, not going to lie. He was very fidgety, but I was just like, I'm going to help this guy out, and I'm going to give him a sharp object. So I handed him this multi-tool I had that had a little poker thing on it, because he said there was a problem with the belt notch or something. So I was like, here you go. And he was pretty happy. And then, so I was just like being all chill guy, not really paying attention, but it did kind of occur to me that he was sort of fidgeting a lot and struggling with it. But eventually he gave it back, and everything seemed okay. But then a short while later, it wasn't okay. So I was like, no problem, here you go. And then I was just being chill guy. But then I kind of noticed he'd got up and stood far away, and I kind of looked, and he had the blade out of this multi-tool, and I don't know, and then I thought I saw a little bit of blood on the ground, and then next thing I know, I see like a little more blood on the ground, and he sits down and he whips his hat, his knit cap, he just like tossed it on the ground like really fast and started scrubbing it with his foot on the floor, and then he handed it back to me. And he's like, oh, I'm really sorry, I've been smoking a lot of meth today, and I'm feeling really fidgety right now. I was just like, okay. So chill guy, just sort of stuck it in my pocket without trying to touch it too much. And I got off at the next stop, because of course I had to get off at the exact next stop, because of course I did. And as I walked out, I could see he had like, oh man, he had blood on his hands and scraped up on on the floor. And he had stuffed his hat like underneath him, and that was a mess. Totally my fault. I got off, talked to the subway guy, just said I touched somebody's blood, and he's like, here you go. Gives me a whole bunch of hand sanitizer. And then there was a lady there who was in line. Like I went up to the front of the line of the fare place where you buy fare. And the nurse said, she said, oh, geez, let me look at your hands to see if you have any open wounds. And I was like, oh my gosh. And her first comment was, you have very poorly drawn hands. Womp womp. But no, she looked at him and she said, nah, you're totally fine. She's like, did you actually like get any, like, was it like liquidy or something? And I was like, no, it's just kind of like a trace of it from where he touched. I didn't mention I had a bloody knife in my pocket. And then she's like, you're totally fine. Don't worry about it. Like I don't see any reason to be concerned here. And so that was really nice. And then a little while later, it occurred to me that I had a bloody knife in my pocket and I should get rid of it. So I got off, I think, at the next stop and found some like newspapers and stuff, and I just sort of casually tossed in the garbage, tossed a whole bunch of crumpled newspapers on top. And yeah, that's the story of the time I had to get rid of a bloody knife.